This letter comes to us from a Dr. Robert Smith, retired. The distortion I see in a lot of this family's videos is caused by paranormal energy. This has been an ongoing problem for him and his wife for years. He started out researching a Sasquatch that he saw one day. Naturally, that led to video recording them. Then he started going into the woods looking for them, and that's where he messed up. Whenever a person goes looking for a Sasquatch or a demon, as they are one and the same, it gives permission for all things not of the light to start hanging around you. Some good, some not so good. The trees with faces seen all over this family's property are a sure sign of Satan's troops. They will possess the trees temporarily because the trees won't fight them. We have around 100,000 in the United States. These Sabi, Sasquatch, Bigfoot, the hairy ones. They're half human, half Nephilim, fallen angels, tossed out of heaven because they tried to take over. They sided with Satan. Not all demons are bad, though most are. They are unsanctioned creatures, an abomination. But it's not their fault their ancestors went against God's wishes. He told them, do not breed with human females. They did anyway, creating Sasquatch, an abomination. A lot have paranormal abilities that will knock your socks off if you see them use these abilities up close. They can completely cloak and become invisible. They can teletransport to anywhere. They can conceive on Earth, and if you find one worth being friends with, you have a friend for your entire life. But even then, you should always view them as you would a wild wolf. They're all about instincts. Also, they're cannibals. They eat their own dead, so you know damn well they will eat us also. I've been friends with one pushing 45 years now, and she says it is as normal to them as eating beef is to us. They are the strongest creatures alive on the planet. I have no doubt one can pick up an entire truck and throw it, not far, but they can still throw it. Technically, they're half angels, and they live for up to 3 centuries, with most living 150 to 200 years. The females are much kinder than the males, very much like human females, but they're prettier. I found a family behind my family's home years ago. They had little ones. I thought they were all gorillas, so I started leaving food out for them. It was an exceptionally cold winter back in 1983, and after about a year of me feeding them, one morning, the mother Bigfoot Sasquatch said, "Thank you, Robert. I had a stroke and crapped my pants at the same time." That was my final year of college. I left that fall for medical school, trying to keep that secret for an entire year, remembering now that at the time I still thought they were gorillas. Sincerely, Dr. Robert Smith, retired. But alas, naysayers challenged Dr. Smith's story, so he responded yet again in writing, "There are days I wish that I've prayed many times for this to just be a bad dream, and that I indeed want to wake up to know this not to be true. It was some time before I finally accepted these things that I and countless others have witnessed so many times that I could not begin to tell you how many times, hundreds of times to be sure. The worst is when you're alone. That's when they seem to test your mental strength. Try spending 30 minutes in my shoes and you will know for certain this stuff is satanic in nature. I am a man of facts, and the paranormal does not adhere to our physics. However, everything I've seen using quantum physics, I will just say that there is a mathematical equation for it and it becomes possible. You or I will never be able to teletransport from one location to another using such things as energy portholes. In the forest, things can teletransport, mainly trees. We cannot because we can only access 10% of our brains. Sabby can access 40 to 60%. This is where all things start to come together. My friend, God has created many beings in his career. In my understanding, we are the sum of all he has learned, making us his favorites. But bottom line, other beings were given too much power from the start, so he did not make that mistake with us. Do you believe in mind over matter? These creatures, when their energies are combined, 2 or 3 of them can cure terminally ill patients with cancer by simply believing it doesn't exist in their body. I witnessed this event myself 45 years ago, and it still takes place today once a month. Imagine harnessing that kind of power or energy. Crippled fingers cured. These are 2 that I know of personally. Liver cancer, final stages, days before death. Mother of 5 so weak she can't leave the hospital. She goes home and she's still with us today and she's in her 70s. These people that showed me the alternatives to conventional medicine had no cause or reason to hoax anyone 45 years ago. This fellow here, Crazy Lake, I've been watching him for a couple of years. He's your typical individual who's had experiences with these creatures. Since we did not grow up knowing these things were real, when you do have an experience and speak of it, others start calling you crazy, nuts, even once they themselves experience it, because they can't face the facts. I always stayed out of the public's eye until I retired, the smartest thing I've ever done. This man, Crazy Lake, would need to have unlimited resources to hoax these videos. You should see what has been found on government aerial photos. Entire civilizations living here among us. It's why nobody is allowed to go to the bottom of the Grand Canyon. There are beings so weird and so strange you will swear you are watching a cartoon. Again, sincerely, Dr. Robert Smith, retired. Folks, these are the words of a learned man.